I am a lucky guy. I am the seventh son of a seventh son, the 14th in my family of 16 children. My dad, he always used to say, "You don't have to go to work, son. You get to go to work." He was the city cemetery manager in Astoria for 38 years. Hard work was at the core of everything he did. We were taught that a penny saved is a penny earned. We turned out the lights. We wore sweaters. We read books instead of watching television. Conservation for us, it wasn't so much a choice, it was a necessity. Because of necessity, I went into the Air Force a few months out of high school. It was at the very end of the Cold War and at the beginning of the first Gulf War. I remember my dad, who had served in the Navy. My dad, he was so proud that another of his family, another of his children was going to be serving in our armed forces for our country. But it was my sister Rose's words that really kind of gave me the final push I needed. I remember her saying, sitting down in the laundry room one night, "Paul, this is your chance to see the world." So I was a little bit surprised when I got my orders. F.E. Warren Air Force Base, Cheyenne, Wyoming? Where the hell was that? So I was a missile systems maintenance technician. I worked on a fleet of 150 Minuteman missiles. They were located from Cheyenne, Wyoming, as far east as Sidney, Nebraska. You know, the work itself was kind of difficult, but really the drive across the dry, flat prairie. I'm an Oregon boy. I love my green. The dry, flat prairie was grueling. Because in the summertime, it would be 100 or so degrees, and in the wintertime, it was negative 30, and we'd still have to go to work. But one of my greatest times in the military, kind of the most memorable moment, is we went on foot shot. My team had been selected for a test launch of a missile. We transported the missile in caravan all the way through Nevada, all the way through, we actually got to stay in Las Vegas. I don't know where they ditched the missile for that. But all the way to Lompoc, California, Vandenberg Air Force Base. All three trajectories, they were dummy warheads, came within 100 yards of their target, 5,000 miles away on the Kwajalein Atoll. It seems a little bit like overkill for that kind of accuracy. I was proud, but not so proud of the work, I guess. I remember the first time I saw a missile, going into the silo the first time, after the long trek to work, waiting for the timer to time out so you could unlock the locking mechanism, and waiting for the timer to time out and retracting the locking bolts. There was a vault door that you had to wait that took about a half an hour to lower. And then you would descend a 40-foot ladder to your workspace below ground. The workspace was really tight because you were surrounded by equipment racks. And I remember just kind of an ominous presence. I walked up to the launch tube wall, and through this little tiny portal, I've shown my flashlight through, and you could kind of get the glint of the missile shroud. I remember being terrified that on the other side of that tiny, tiny wall, that thin metal wall, was all that explosive power. So I got out of the military, and nobody was hiring missile technicians. And so I didn't know what to do, and I went back went to college to study something I really enjoyed in high school. I went into technical theater. But being practical, I thought I better do something else. So I took a gardening course, a master gardening course, which led to an opportunity in Hawaii. And in Hawaii, I began growing my hair out and my beard. And that's me about halfway through. My beard was down to about here, and I looked like Tom Hanks from Castaways. But, tanning myself in places the sun never shines. Because it was a clothing optional. But it was in Hawaii that I really started thinking more about conservation and sustainability. We were a self-sustained program. We grew our own food. We had a solar panel for electricity and heating our own water. We had a collection system that diverted water from a stream. It was paradise. I got a little bit of island fever and decided I better come back after about a year. I kind of wonder why I left. I had a great time there. But I came back to the mainland with kind of a mission. I knew I wanted to have a positive impact on people's lives. So I came back to school here, actually. I was on campus here at Portland State, and the Montgomery building right across the way is room 310, was kind of where I lived, and I helped to run the community garden program. And one of my triumphs, I think, when I was here on campus was that a group of us, we did a little bit of guerrilla gardening. One of the residence halls was being torn down, and I went over to the deconstruction guys and asked what was happening with all that crap, and they were like, "Oh, I don't know. What, you want it?" And I was like, "Yeah. If you're not using it, yes, we'd love to take the bricks." So, grabbed all the bricks, broke off all the mortar, and managed to get Ross Island Sand and Gravel to donate a bunch of sand, and started what's now this beautiful path that's still there. So I feel like I left a legacy here. I did not think I was going to come even close to hearing that. So, for my time here, while I was going to school here, I was working for a utility company, and honestly, I got lucky. They gave me an opportunity to work for this new renewable company, Iberdrola. I took the chance. It was actually called PPM Energy back then. I took the chance with a group of kind of wackos and started building wind turbines. So now I work in the National Control Center for Iberdrola. We monitor 6,000 wind turbines located in 18 states, generating 5,000 megawatts of wind power. It's clean, renewable, and it's abundant. Wind power is just one of the many options and one of the many resources available. We also have 2 solar plants and a super efficient natural gas burning cogeneration facility that helps us to balance the wind that we integrate on the grid. The Iberdrola Renewables is also on the forefront of renewable technologies, and they have developed a system for detecting migrating birds. So our team helps to monitor some of the migrating bird paths as the birds are migrating from the Gulf Coast. We have the ability to detect that. We get an alarm in the control center, and when there are enough birds flying through at a certain elevation, we shut the entire park down. So we're on the cutting edge of renewable technology, and I love it. I'm a lucky guy. I didn't know that the work I did in the military was going to lead me to a career in renewable energy. I had no idea. But it turns out the training I had in electronic principles was foundational and fundamental to the work I'm doing now. All those military guys with their training I work with a team of 15 guys, either with military backgrounds, and a lot of our plant managers are military. So there is a thread from the military into this path and this war that we are waging on global warming. And that's what I end with, is that I'm lucky, and I get to go to work. I get to, Dad. I get to go to work in renewable energy. Thank you.